Hey everyone, my name is Michael Scott Peters. You can call me Michael Scott. Do we have any Office fans here in the room today? Excellent. Well, you're a very good audience. This is going to be a fun time. Unfortunately, I don't work for Dunder Mifflin Paper Company, but I am the U.S. Youth Observer to the United Nations, and I'll be serving for a one-year term. And it's a very exciting role. It's one where I get to work with youth on campuses across the nation and represent the American youth voices at the United Nations. So it's very cool to get to talk to a few of our young leaders just before this event, hear their stories, look at what they're working on. And I want to congratulate them on their efforts and wish them the best of luck going forward. I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah, in kind of a farming community, and so I didn't know a ton about the United Nations growing up, never did Model UN, and so it's honestly been a really cool experience to learn more about the United Nations since taking this role back in July. I've learned about the alphabet soup of all the acronyms that make up the United Nations, and every day I'm still learning. And it's honestly been really cool to work to connect youth voices on a global stage. One of the things that this experience reminded me of is a story from a man named Neil. His name's Neil Gaiman, and I want to tell this story in his own words. And Neil says, I once was very lucky to attend an event with very high-profile people. And he said, as I looked around the room, I saw artists and scientists and inventors and writers. And he said, I was just waiting for the moment when they would realize I wasn't truly qualified to be there. And he said, on the second or third night of the event, I found myself at the very back of the ballroom talking to a very polite elderly man. And, we talked about several things, including our shared first name. And what was interesting is that this gentleman looked at him and said, look at all these amazing people. As they listened to the musicians, as they saw the inventors show their products, he said, all of these guys have brought something very amazing to this world. And I just went where I was sent. And I said to him, but Neil, you were the very first man on the moon. That's got to count for something, right? And it was in that moment that I realized, it made me feel a little bit better, because even if Neil Armstrong felt like an imposter, then maybe everybody did. Maybe there are no such things as grown-ups, but rather just some people who've worked really hard and gotten really lucky. And this is my message for everyone in the room today and anyone else watching around the world, is that we are all youth at heart. We're all working to make life bigger than ourselves. The fact that you're in this room right now tells me something very special about you, that you want something more out of this thing we call life. And it is my call to action today that you pursue that passion, that you continue to work, because there's times when we can be intimidated, right? When we may lack the confidence. I'll tell you, I was just barely in the speaker room with all these people who've done amazing things with their life, and I'm like, man, I just graduated like 3 months ago from Utah State, and I was like, wow, I'm like 24 years old still. I felt like Neil in this situation. But I promise you that if you pursue your passion and you have the confidence to do it, that you can create amazing things. So let's go have some fun and create social good. Thank you very much. It is now my pleasure to welcome back to the stage the UN Secretary General's Youth Envoy, Jayathma, as well as our UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador and YouTube creator, Lily Singh, and Mashable's Editor-in-Chief, Jessica Cohen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.